Okay, Chapter 3, Molecules and Compounds. This is a quote from Francis Crick, who was one of the guys that figured out the double helix structure of DNA. Almost all aspects of life are engineered at the molecular level, and without understanding molecules, we can only have a very sketchy understanding of life itself. So, another interesting question, how many different substances exist? I don't know that this is a question that can be answered with a specific number. A lot, right? Elements combine with each other to form compounds. There are 91 naturally occurring elements, and these can combine in various ways. And if you're good with math, you know you can figure out, well, if you have two, if you just combine two of them, one of each, you could look at these different combinations and you could figure out a number. But it's not just one of each element. It could be 3 elements or 5 elements. It could be 2 molecules of one and 3 of the other. There's just so many possibilities. So the great diversity of substances we see in nature is a result of this ability of elements to combine to form compounds. So all the diversity of matter that we see is all made out of 91 types of building blocks. Here's an example of what happens when you change the molecular structure. So here we have hydrogen gas and oxygen gas and water. Water is composed of hydrogen and oxygen, and yet its properties are very different, right? Hydrogen is a flammable, in fact, explosive gas at room temperature. Oxygen is also a gas at room temperature and is necessary for combustion. Water, the combination of those two elements, is a liquid at room temperature, and it's used to put out fires, right? So when we form a compound from 2 or more elements, this new substance results, and its properties can be extremely different from the properties of the elements. So, a reminder of the difference between mixtures and compounds. Mixtures is when you have elements, or you can have a mixture of compounds, where the proportions can vary. An example here is this balloon contains a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen gases. You could put a little bit more oxygen in, a little more hydrogen in. It would still be this mixture of gases. That's a mixture. In a compound, here the compound is the same 2 elements, but they're combined in a fixed definite proportion. So there's always 2 hydrogens for every 1 oxygen atom. Always, always, always in water. This is a compound. Anybody have any questions about the difference between mixtures and compounds?